Namaste everyone. So this is just a quick 5-minute video of something you might do while working at your desk. Just a way to get a little movement into your workday. It's important to stretch and to get up every hour or so, every 2 hours or so. They say these days that there's no amount of movement that can make up for time seated. So it's important to move your body throughout the day. So this is something that you might do at your desk fairly easily without drawing too much attention to yourself. To still get some movement through the spine, which not only is great for the body, but can also help boost your energy, which will boost your productivity, make you feel better, make you just feel a little brighter. So, why not give it a shot? So, I'll just give you a couple different poses that you might try to work up the spine. So start by taking your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Bring the top of your pelvis forward and slowly bring your lower ribs to your thighs. So you can keep your hands on your hips to kind of push your seat back into the chair, or as you lower the head, bring your hands down to the floor. Anytime your head comes below the heart, it's considered an inversion, and inversions are very energizing. They're very stimulating for the brain, so a really great move to do during your workday. I know you can't see my feet, but my feet once again are straight up and down. So this pose here is going to give me a nice stretch through my low back, kind of lengthen through my spine. This could be a hamstring stretch already. If you want a little bit more of a hamstring stretch, you might wiggle your feet just a little bit more forward of your knees. Don't straighten the legs entirely. Keep the feet flat on the floor. But you might straighten the legs somewhat. And then again, just dive in. Bring your face in between the shins, chest in between the thighs. I highly recommend holding each pose for approximately 3 to 5 breaths. More if you like it. So next, we're going to work, actually before we do anything else, a little bit of tone through the low abdomen. So I want you to grab onto the sides of your seats. And I know everyone's chair is different, but just adjust yourself accordingly. So hold on to something, some part of your chair, and now lean back ever so slightly. Keep the shoulders back and your chest lifted, and now draw your navel towards your spine. Lift your feet maybe 3 inches off the floor. So you don't have to lift a lot. It doesn't have to be like this big boat pose at your desk. Literally, my toes are like 2 inches off the ground. The more you can lift your hip points up and pull your ribs back, the more you'll feel the abdomen engage. Tone your thighs and lift your chest. Remember to breathe. Now, that tone your low abdomen is really important when you're twisting. The reason being, your low back is not very mobile. It's not really meant to go from side to side the way that our upper spine is. So we're about to go into a seated twist, and I want you to find that same tone, that same little fire in your belly that you just created by lifting your toes. So bring your left hand to the back of your seat, or maybe even all the way over to the other side of your seat. Place your right hand outside your right knee. Now, one thing that tends to happen is the whole body begins to twist, which means the knees come apart, or at least they might come uneven. So I want you to pay attention to keeping the knees as even as you can, toning the inner thighs and pushing the tailbone down to keep the lower body locked in. And now tone your low abdomen. From your right ribs, twist to your left. So as best you can, keep that right knee back. Just take the right ribs across. And now use your left hand to pull this left shoulder back. Use your right hand to twist a little bit more. Do keep your abdomen toned, but lift your chest up. After a few breaths, switch sides. So now take your right hand either to the back of your seat or all the way across to the other side of your seat. Hold on to your right knee with your left hand. Now notice how my left knee is coming forward. Try to pull that knee back. Pull your abdomen in. Lift your chest, and now through your ribs, not your hips, begin to twist. You can gaze forward over your front shoulder, or begin to look back over the shoulder in the direction that you're twisting. After a few moments, you can unwind. So now we're going to move into somewhat of a back bending shape. In back bends, it's important again to remember that your lower spine doesn't really move as much as the upper spine, which is why it's important to keep the low belly engaged and to not force the low back to take on shapes it doesn't want to. When creating the curve of a back bend, think about that shape happening more in the upper spine, right around where the ribs begin and up in between the shoulder blades. So please sit on the very edge of your seat. And there's a few ways that you can do this. If your shoulders are feeling pretty open and you know that you want a slightly bigger back bend, then hold your hands a little bit higher on the top of your seat. You can also walk your hands lower or just hold on to the back of the actual seat part. Now, keep your elbows slightly bent and squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Tone your abdomen, pull your ribs and your belly in. With keeping that, lift your chest up. Move your upper spine forward into the back of your chest or the back of your heart, and then lift your chest towards your chin. Keeping that shape, you might begin to pull yourself a little bit forward to straighten the arms. Again, for a bigger back bend, you might hold higher on the seat. Keep the shoulders back so my shoulders aren't collapsing forward. I'm going to pull the head of my arm bones back so the chest is broad. I'm going to lift my chest up and begin to lean forward to straighten my arms. If it feels okay, you can begin to take your skull back as you lift your chest more. Take your head back, open your throat. Tone your thighs, pull your belly in, lift your chest up. After a few breaths, gently release. So sit anywhere from the middle to the front of your seat. Try not to lean all the way back so you're collapsing, but instead sit where you can with a tall spine. And now, hold on to the bottom of your seat. Again, everyone's chair is different, so adjust accordingly, but I want you to hold on in a way that you can straighten and strengthen your arms. So I'm not only just gripping the seat, but I'm actually pulling up on the seat, like as if I were trying to lift it off the floor beneath me. Pull on your hands, lift your chest, curve your low back in. Push your tailbone down into your chair. Now, maintain the strength of your arms and pull the shoulders back. Lower your left ear to your left shoulder. Now, the benefit of holding onto the chair is that I can pull my right ear away from my right shoulder, and by holding on, my right shoulder is kind of fixed, so that I'm not leaning or I'm not, doing something to avoid the stretch or to minimize the stretch, but I have something to really anchor me into it to optimize that stretch. And after a few moments, you can go the other way. So again, I'm reaching my left shoulder and my left ear away from another. Don't just think about pulling your head down, but almost think about moving the top of your head out to the right. After a few moments, release. So again, I'm going to hold on to the seat with my right hand. This time I'm going to lean my upper body slightly to the left. I'm going to reach my left arm up and over to the right. I know you can't see my hand, but I'm turning my palm so that it's facing the right. So it's not this way, but this way. I'm squeezing my arm to my head. I'm going to lift my chest with my chin, take my head back. Push your tailbone down, pull up with your right hand, and reach out with the left. And then after a few moments, switch sides. So I'm going to hold on to this side of the seat. I'm going to lean the opposite direction. I'm going to bring my right arm up and over. Take your head back, lift your chest up. Lean your ribs to the right. Touch your arm to the left. Keep your chin up, chest up. And after a few moments, release. So here's my all-time favorite. Hook your left ankle over your right thigh and bring your right knee and your left knee down. This could be enough already. If you want a little bit more, you might bring your elbows to your shins. This is a really good way just to sit. You're getting a stretch, but it looks like you're just sitting at your desk. This could be enough for today. It could be enough for a couple of days. As you're ready, you might want to go a little further. So bring your elbows in front of the shin. Little by little, which could be today, could be little by little over weeks. You might start to bring your armpits to the shin and eventually lower your hands down to the floor. Relax the upper body. Push your tailbone down into the seat and think of tacking and carving this left hip down. So there's subtle rotation of the upper thigh out to maximize the hip stretch. Keep your left foot flexed and your toes flare to protect your knee as you do this. After a few moments, switch sides. So my first priority is to get my knee down so that my heel and my knee are in one line. This is happening by externally rotating the thigh at the hip. Please do not shove your knee. Your knee is a hinge joint and it wants to move forward and back, not side to side. So that's why it's important to align the knee with the heel. That way you know that the knee joint is even. You can lower your elbows to the shin or bring your arms in front of the shin and slowly begin to wiggle your arms down until your shins and your armpits, and then maybe lower your hands to the floor. Push your butt into the seat. So actively push your tailbone down so your low belly tones. Allow your back to round evenly. Relax the head. And just take a few breaths. After a few moments, release. You can repeat any of those poses again. You might end with another forward fold. I highly recommend that you end with a few deep breaths. So just place your hands on your knees or on your thighs, straighten your arms, and lift your chest. Close your eyes or cast your gaze downward. Taking a full deep breath in through your nose. And a soft exhale out your mouth. Inhale deeply. And exhale. One more complete breath in. Just when you think you can't, take in one more sip of air. And completely let go. Clear all that breath out. Thank you so much. I hope you find this helpful. Have a wonderful day at work. Namaste.